Hello and welcome to the back nine of round 2 of the Dynamic Disc Open, 5th stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We are your two hot geese.
Honk. We're here in Emporia, Kansas, playing Jones Supreme, a new and very, very challenging course. Just take a look at the front 9 of our lead card. Playing hard out here today.
Yeah, it was windy, and it's just a challenging course in general. As you can see, the rest of the field having a rough time as well, except for Kristen Tatar just shooting out of her mind.
Jennifer Allen, Cat Merch as well. But I think pretty much everybody else in the field over par, even is definitely beating the course today. Hole 10 is a par 4, 682 feet. There is an out of bounds line on the left that plays, that comes into play pretty easily, so you want to throw something really straight or a turnover that maybe fades just a little bit at the end, but not too much. Then it's a straight tunnel shot all the way up to this green. There are not a lot of birdies. You're playing very steeply uphill. The footing can be bad. It kind of collects all the water into a drainage ditch and can be a little mushy. Yeah. We saw Paige throw in from, 120, 150 feet yesterday, and that was one of the 2 birdies of the day yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this hole should be that difficult. The wind looks nice and calm. It has been a head, like left to right crosswind lately. But if you go out of bounds on this tee shot, it's essentially you're not able to save the par.
No.
So that's probably why it has it as one of the top 5 most difficult holes of the day for the FPO field.
That's that stable Emperor from Jessica. Takes the out of bounds out of play and still gets a ton of distance. She is going to have one of the best chances at birdieing it, and it's going to have to be a huge crush. Paige with, I believe, a passion there. Nice slow turn.
Yeah, gentle turnover.
Checks up before the OB.
She'll have more of a straight shot to the pin. She could have some distance to get down there.
Yeah, she's definitely has a chance. The left side is nice. It's riskier to be over there and push the out of bounds, but it leaves a kind of more straightforward approach, or, well, second drive anyway.
Christine does more of a typical play here, trying to ride the right side.
I forgot to mention there's out of bounds over there too.
Yeah,
sorry.
It turns over a little more than she wants, carries into that one little pocket of out of bounds on the corner.
And there's the wind.
This is a great looking. Oh, it's a great looking shot. You want to just throw almost a sharp turnover here to carry down the fairway. It goes almost, 60 degrees right.
And Christine's going to have to work really hard just to save a bogey. Cynthia in good position here. Kind of dealing with some footing stuff, it looks like. And yeah, as you can see, she had 2 great shots and she's still, 150 feet away? Maybe a little closer. Paige with the same disc in hand, it looks like. Dashing.
She's got to keep it low here and really penetrate through the gap because the branches don't allow for any air under your disc. And look how far she gets down there.
Gets the circle too. Really, really nice.
Christine's still trying to work her way around the corner before she can see the basket.
Yeah, she's still forced to throw more of a turnover line. And that looks really good.
Oh, that's great.
Really good.
I thought she was a little more tough than that. Yep. She'll have the ability. Oh, she's going to put 80 shorts.
Yeah, that's for saving a bogey. So like you said, if you go out of bounds off the tee shot, you really don't have a chance. Jess with a huge tee shot, using the same disc on a sidearm. It's too low, but she's still way up there for par. But that's a bummer. That has to be one of the farthest tee shots 100%. Of the day. This pink one, I think, is a metal flake gator. Flashes the basket and stays really close.
Only one person getting inside circle 1 for birdie in the FPO field. It's crazy.
Cynthia with a little sidearm chip. Smooth shot to 15-ish. Paige with the rare birdie look.
that woodpecker on a very strict schedule of screaming while the lead card comes through and hammering on the metal sign for everyone else. Christine to save her bogey here.
Good effort there. But yeah, she'll settle for the double. Cynthia for par.
Oh my
dead
goodness.
center.
Oh.
I'm not one to be like, oh, that was a spit out dumb basket, but that was a spit out dumb basket.
Man, that hit the pole.
Yeah.
Great par from Jess.
Yeah, really nicely done.
There was one birdie today. It was by Hannah
Hugh? I actually don't know how you say her last name. She's a West Side player. Very
can
nice
rip.
birdie. Yeah, she can.
And par feels good on this hole.
Sure does.
It's one that you're just wanting to get through and move into a slew of potential birdie holes. It's downhill 395-foot hole. Plays a little bit shorter than that, but the out of bounds pinching in so close on the right hand side paired with the two big cedar trees on the left doesn't really allow you to work any big flight of your disc. You just have to throw something nose down and linear and on a rope basically to the green in order to get the birdie. There's some low-hanging tree branches that take out any sort of hyzer play at all. We can see Jess working a big flex shot. She's one of the few people that I feel like would be comfortable here throwing a backhand potentially to the green, but she does get tangled up early.
Yeah, it's interesting to see people choose. We saw everyone almost go left side of that middle tree and try to throw a flex. A lot of ladies choosing to go right side and kind of hyzer out a little before and just try to make a circle two putt. Paige going left side nice and straight. It does hyzer out into circle two, but it's still a great shot. Cynthia, trusty DD3, nice and low, a little turn. And this is going to get a little bit stable, but
Great looking shot.
stays in circle two, yeah.
That's a scary shot, and she executed it so well. If you throw it a little bit too high, it can very easily hyzer out and find the out of bounds on the road.
Ooh, that's gonna... No, it misses the tree. I thought it was gonna square it. Yeah, really too low, but she's halfway down.
Yeah, she'll have just a little sidearm chip to the green. Key thing here is you want to just stay out of that cedar tree short. There's not a lot for you in there.
Christine throws this a little too wide, and we'll have to earn her par just inside the circle. We're making good on those all day, though. Jessica with that Toro in hand. Perfect.
No problem.
Oh, see that umbrella? Trying to get away.
Yeah, from circle two, looks to be right around 60 feet.
She'll take a par. Paige a little bit closer, a tree in her way, going straddle, jump putt.
Oh,
Just off the top.
all over it. There were no birdies today. That surprises me a little bit, but not really. This hole is so challenging.
I mean, the distance is gettable being downhill by the entire field, but just such a
shot shape.
demanding line.
Yeah.
And Christine taking the bogey there. Everyone else with pars, likely.
One person finding themselves inside the circle for birdie on this hole. 21% finding themselves in circle two for the birdie. So just some stats on how difficult it is to get to this green. But what's nice here is we now enter the little stretch of birdie holes.
Hole 12 is an uphill par 3, 280 feet, another island style hole. You have to carry probably 265 feet. A good place to go to this right side. There's a little bit more room over there. You really don't want to end up left in that cedar either. It will leave you with no putt. It was a straight tailwind, so it was trying to push your disc down, and it definitely plays more like a little over 300, being so steeply uphill.
The drop zone is not that difficult here, but it is pretty much an instant bogey. It would be tough to throw in a putt from there.
Yeah, but it's not too difficult to get your bogey.
Uh-oh.
She's just barely out of bounds. I think she thought I was into it. It looks like it should be. So close. Paige throwing her Raptor, likely going kind of right side like we saw yesterday and trusting the stability. Perfect.
Yeah. Lands right in a little soft dirt patch. It lays down nicely.
It's kind of funny when people talk their disc and they sound like it's so bad and then it's parked.
Yeah.
Cynthia working that right side. I thought it was too turned over, but nice stable disc and comes back in bounds. Leaves a tricky putt, but at least she's there and has a chance for the birdie. Christine, her 2021 Tour Series Sidewinder.
Uh-oh.
Two turned.
She tried to cross over at one of the longest points from tee pad to safe area. Unfortunately, you can see the drop zone here. It's about 100 feet.
Wow, Jess looking like she's trying to spike it in.
A little soft bid. %35% of the field getting a birdie here, and 44% getting a bogey or worse.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it's a really good hole. This stretch of 3, like you said, they're all definitely birdieable, but also still pretty good score separators.
Yep. Definitely not easy birdies.
Wow, full go at it from Cynthia. She shrugged, she'll take a par. Great commitment there. She could easily find the out of bounds behind it if she missed.
After running at it from the drop zone, Jess has a wee bit of a tester comeback putt downhill towards the out of bounds. A little wind in her face, just a little low.
Yeah, it didn't quite have her normal pace on it. It was a little soft. Paige with a nice easy birdie. Love to see it.
Cynthia with the par.
Yeah, just taking a rough double bogey there, and Christine with the single bogey.
Let's see what's going on with everybody else.
Wow, okay. Okay, Jen Allen and Kat Merch. 2 down through 16.
Kristen still not done getting birdies. 5 down through 17.
Wow.
1 to play. 1 that is birdieable. Alexis and Haley holding on and finding themselves in a tie for the lead.
All right, so our lead card ladies need to get some birdies. This is a good one to do it.
It's a downhill 466 feet, therefore very, very gettable for the birdie 3. But this tee shot is challenging because we did have a head right to left crosswind, and it makes it really hard not to show the underside of your disc and hyzer out left where there is an out of bounds line that pinches in pretty close. Your second shot, you just want to throw it through this little gap and hopefully not get tangled up on the right hand side. The out of bounds does come in on the back side, but it's about 40 feet behind the basket.
We did see Paige and a couple ladies yesterday get far enough to have kind of eagle looks. At 466 downhill, it's definitely reachable for Paige.
Yeah, she's trying to get every bit of distance here. Look how flat that disc is.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
She's
really nice.
Almost, is she in circle 2 almost?
I think just short.
Just barely
Regardless,
short.
amazing shot. Easy birdie. Maybe even a little bit of an eagle run.
The wind is definitely blustery here. Cynthia working the flex line. This is looking great as well.
Oh, yeah. Madison, we were debating yesterday whether this hole is like easy or a gimme, and I think it is, but I think if you were to like tell a casual player to go do this and tell them it was a gimme, like, no, it's not.
No,
I think that's why we had trouble with it.
If they felt the wind on this tee shot, it's, and that little pond is right in the layup zone. You can see Christine barely getting over when she just takes the nose down line of like, okay, I'm just gonna, not try to do anything crazy or not try to put my disc up in the air.
And if you're not careful, you can find that OB left. So it is a professional gimme. That's what I decided.
I love that.
Just throwing the flex line. It's turning too much, but trying to come back. It must be a very... Oh, that's that Emperor. Wow.
Did I just see that? Did I?
She's pinned high.
Wow.
But behind that...
Yeah, she can almost go around the backside of that cluster
She might
of trees.
need to. It looks pretty thick, but what a huge shot.
This did play as the easiest hole of the day, but we are all professional, so that would make sense.
Christine with a really solid shot from being pretty far back there. Hopefully...
It's hard to putt from in there, though.
Yeah,
it is brutal.
Yeah, they kind of grab at you. They're all pretty, like, thorny, fine
So skinny.
thingies.
So prickly.
Decent shot from Cynthia there. She's very close for her birdie.
Paige still having to throw from this distance, but it's a very easy chip up. Oh.
Yeah, she goes a little long, but she's 22 feet away. So Jess is pin high, but you can see the band through the tree. She's having to go cut roller, though.
That's great.
That is great. Perfect angle. Jess always playing the holes a little bit differently than everybody else.
It is working in her favor
And
this
honestly,
weekend
she's
so
one
far.
of my favorites to watch for that reason.
Yep. Oh,
Man, Christine a little deeper in there than it looked. Not able to get the birdie.
just from around 18, maybe 20 feet for her par. I mean birdie.
Birdie.
Yeah.
Good hit.
This is one of only 4 holes that averaged under par on the day. Paige contributing to that stat with a birdie.
Yeah, solid putt there. And yeah, Paige is working. She was, what, 6 over, working herself down to, she's at 4 over for the round now.
There's still birdies to be had. You can't birdie all of the remaining holes, but enough.
See, so Cynthia and Jessica are 2 over on the round. Christine is, what, 7 over on the round.
If disc golf is your game, make Gotta Go, Gotta Throw your Disc Golf Warehouse. With a huge selection of discs, bags, baskets, carts, shirts, and more. GottaGo.GottaThrow.com has all the tools to take your game to the next level. Shop online or our Golden Valley, Minnesota store. Free shipping with all online orders over $75. Online or in-store, get what you need for the game you love. GottaGo.GottaThrow.com, your disc golf warehouse. In the game since 1993.
Hole 14 is a par 4, another very gettable one. 504 feet, not a ton of danger on the drive. There is out of bounds left and right, but it's a pretty wide fairway. You want to get as far down as you can to make the second shot easier. I think the left side's a little better because it makes kind of a hyzer gap. You can see the biggest gap on the right side there, not what the drone is flying to. Right next to it is usually the gap you want to go for. There is out of bounds really close on the left side behind the basket, and that road is out of bounds too.
Yeah,
Gettable, but tricky second shot.
Yeah, the second shot is the deal breaker here.
Paige can probably get so far up there where it's more of a jump putt than anything else. That's pretty.
Real pretty.
Yep.
Not quite in putting range, but she'll be close enough to that gap to where the left gap does look okay. If you guys ever want to catch this type of coverage live, go check out the Disc Golf Pro, the DGPT.com/live. You can go get some tickets and watch in person, or just watch on the Disc Golf Network and see all the action live. But thank you for tuning into the post-produced coverage with GK Pro. We really appreciate you guys viewing.
Big sidearm from Jessica there. She should be lined up for kind of, I guess just the straight to hyzer shot. Sidewinder flex shot from Christine. And that's everyone in a definitely attackable range. I don't think you're ever going to see anyone lay up on their second shot, generally. Like, you have to go for this. We're professionals.
Yes. Again, to reiterate. This gap is not easy, though, especially Cynthia is further back from where you would like to attack from.
Yeah, so she's going CD2. A lot of people, usually going like mid-range or even putter. She squeaks through the right side and stays safe. It's a pretty fortunate break.
Big deep breath.
Christine with more of a standstill, slower speed disc, a more typical play here.
Still eyeing up that right side gap. Putting it high so it has time to come back, but that does bring some branches in play.
You do not see people get through that. Twice in a row, too. Like, it is thick right there. These are some fortunate breaks here. I'm not at all jealous. Jess, more on this right side. It's a little bit straighter. She's throwing a flex, and that's like...
That's normal.
That was like the clearest path out of the three of them, and she gets caught up. Really a bummer because you have to take it from across the creek, and it's a very long putt to try to save a par. Paige just chipping up a little backhand putter, goes deep.
There will be some trees.
Is she outside the circle?
Yeah, she's close.
She's close, and she has some trees to deal with. Just for a giant par save.
And she's just trying to lay up. The tree took out the opportunity for her to be able to try to go for that putt, but I feel like she would have if it wasn't there.
Yeah,
she's always running it.
But she has that kind of soft floaty run that keeps them close.
Yep.
Cynthia needs to sit. It does stay safe. She's probably a foot or two away from out of bounds there.
It's played as the second easiest hole on the day, with 58% of the field getting a birdie.
Oh, very cool. Much better than yesterday. Christine with a jump putt.
Wow.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
What a save.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we got to watch the GK replay here. Duh. Nice little jumper.
Yeah, I like this. She keeps it out flat and a little wide, and then hyzers in at the very end. Beautiful.
Birdies under the red buds.
Sounds like a poem.
There we go, Christine.
Paige in a very wide straddle for her birdie.
Yes.
Count it.
Oh my gosh, do we get 2 GK replays in one hole?
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, what a great putt. From a super wide straddle.
I feel like she took a lesson from Kristen Tatar on
Yeah.
how to get power from a wide straddle. That was beautiful. And a good par from Cynthia. Could have definitely been worse.
I feel like
Par
this,
doesn't feel great on this hole, but you know.
it feels good when you miss your gap on the second shot.
Yeah.
I feel like we're watching the FPO field figure these holes out, and it's a bummer we don't get to come back here and play again. 'Cause
Yeah.
tomorrow we will be at Country Club. In the meantime, hole 15 is 325 feet. It's slightly uphill. There was a wind. It was a headwind, I believe. It was a ripping headwind, and because the right side came into play, the right side out of bounds. The only out of bounds you have to worry about on the left-hand side is this water, and that would mean that you have to carry the entirety of the distance of the fairway, and that is really hard to do with that headwind and with that big tree blocking the hyzer play.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday. It's really common to just get up to circle 2. It plays uphill. It's takes a ton of power and a great angle to get all the way inside the circle, which this looks like it has those things.
Yeah, it
does get caught up on that tree though.
It's hard too because you're going slightly uphill, your nose angle is showing itself to the wind, and it just lifts and lifts, and it takes a lot of the power that you put on your drive. Christine doing what a lot of people do, doesn't try to do anything crazy. She's just hyzering it out into the open field and preparing herself to chip up.
Cynthia, that lower right side play.
God, her
I feel like
flex
it's floating really nicely in the
her
wind.
flex lines have been unbelievable
Yeah.
all day. She's inside the circle.
I think she was just outside.
Oh,
Dollar side bet?
yeah. I think she's inside.
Okay. I always choose them failing.
The pessimist.
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
Was huge.
That was huge.
In the air the whole time too.
It flexed right at the perfect moment at the end of the flight.
That was a great shot from Jess.
That was rare too. I feel like it's really tough to get into the bullseye.
Definitely.
In this hole.
Christine just laying up for her par.
This is one of the few holes that did average under par, just barely, but only 15% of the field getting birdies. Just everyone else not getting bogeys.
She's inside. So nice shot, Cynthia.
Dollar Richa,
Uh-huh.
run it.
No. Oh. I think it.
I didn't check up. Yeah, this basket is so close to the water. It's about. Oh, did it check up?
Yeah, it did. I think she's just mad at the putt. Bit of a comebacker here.
There we
But
go.
she's good for it.
Cynthia's putt looking super strong as well. She's got the stagger and the straddle down. Just for birdie.
Awesome.
Yeah, such a good one. It says that 21% of the FPO field found their way inside circle 1. That surprises me.
Good job, ladies.
Yeah, figuring it out. Maybe the people that played during the break in the wind.
Could be. Because, yeah, it died and then picked right back up.
And moving on to 3 of the hardest
This hole.
holes. Yeah.
Yeah, par 5, 827 feet. You need to clear this grass field and land somewhere around that flagpole is great, or farther if you want and can. And then a lot of the ladies are going to lay up near that short tee pad or try to play this skinny, I don't even want to call it fairway, on the right side, and then throw over the field, or again, just work your way out along the right. The birdie is gettable distance-wise, but so difficult. We saw some big numbers here yesterday because, I mean, what happens is if you go out of bounds, you basically just have to keep trying from the same spot until you get inbounds.
Yeah, this
do you remember
this played is the hardest hole yesterday.
the wind on this?
Yes,
I think it was the second hardest hole yesterday.
this was a right to left crosswind whenever my card went through. It does look a little more left to right now.
Whatever it's doing, Jessica throws a great shot. She's way up there.
This tee shot was a little bit, this tee shot was right to left, and you just wanted to make sure not to have it, left to right, and you wanted to make sure not to have it pushed down to the right, because there is an out of bounds line that can come into play, but most of these ladies have enough distance that they're not even worried about that.
Wow. Paige way down there. She's in a tree. We saw her a similar distance yesterday and then basically just putt and approach 60 feet or something, and then go across for the birdie.
She stared it down.
Christine throwing right at that flagpole, which is a really good aiming point, and Heiser's just after it. Solid shot.
I think she's happy with it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell for a second, but yeah, that was a good
Nailed
shot.
the line.
Mm-hmm.
Christine first to go here. She looks like she has a distance driver in her hand, so maybe she's trying to work down the road a little.
Yeah, so if you try to do this, the best thing to do is throw right along the road just like this, and then get one skip and land in bounds, and not go too far. Perfect.
That is so good.
Such a nervy shot, but the advantage, especially being on the left side of the trees, is now she can attack for birdie pretty easily if she wants to.
Cynthia,
This is the mistake well, actually, it might be fine.
it ends up okay.
Yeah, the mistake what I thought she did was you cannot turn it over and go to the right and never come back in bounds. Otherwise, you start that train of rethrowing the same shot. But actually, that was fine.
Wind really starting to whip here. Jess must super trust that disc because
Aggressive.
that angle.
And pays off.
Gosh. Nice trust. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like she threw that on us. The sharpest Anheuser angle.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the right side play. It is risky, but we'll see. So we'll see Paige go over. It's a very full rip to go all the way across.
I think from where she is, it's probably around 360 to cross the grass and maybe closer to 400 to get to the basket.
A good way to throw this is high, and turned over and like let the wind work it. This stalls out too early, but I think she's across.
Yeah.
She is.
You must have just got over.
She doesn't believe it. Look how all of these ladies throwing on the right side, they're way down there attacking for birdie.
Christine has to think about this tree in her backswing. Oh, no problem. That's a great looking shot.
This card is playing this. You dirty little tree. She's still inside the circle though. She was gonna be parked. Sorry.
Oh, Cynthia is even
She's
closer to the tree.
really pinched.
I'm surprised she's not throwing a standstill here.
Oh my god. At least she didn't hit her hand. I'm surprised she didn't throw a standstill or even a sidearm.
Ugh.
That was...
That made me... I covered my face.
I feel like a choice that she just needs to... I don't know.
Grow
she's too,
from?
She's like...
She'll grow from this.
Yeah. She's still fine.
Uh-huh. She can still get a par.
Yeah, she can still get a par. Like, she could have broken her hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm trying to say she's young. That was a good shot. Recovery shot, though.
Checks up just before the out of bounds.
And Jess with just a little chip shot here. Still not easy, but...
Patent pending, classic error here. Early releasing it, and she'll be in circle 2 for her birdie.
Paige just barely in bounds. Little standstill, Crystal Fierce. And just outside the bullseye. Jessica for birdie from 35.
Ooh, that wind just knocked it out of the sky.
Par feels good on this hole, though.
Yep, only 10% of the field getting birdies here. Yeah, it's just so hard, especially that third shot. Actually, let's be real. All the shots on this hole are hard.
Every shot.
Every single one.
Takes everything you have.
Yep, requires maximum focus.
Cynthia with a long comebacker for bogey.
And that course makes you feel like that constantly.
Mm-hmm. Though I can't bend my back that far.
I think this is Christine for her birdie?
Yeah, it is.
Ah.
Just a little high left. Stress-free par, though. That's what I tell myself when I miss birdie putts. It almost helps.
Paige getting the par, even after throwing a mere 20 feet on her second
I know,
shot.
right? Yeah, she basically like wasted a shot almost and still gets the par.
The wind really showing itself here on the green. Cynthia, unfortunately, having to settle for the double. Jess getting a really easy par here.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of our 4 lead card ladies getting pars.
Hole 17's tee shot plays a little bit uphill. It was a right to left ripping crosswind, and the slope of the fairway is generally right to left downhill. All of the out of bounds on the left hand side can come into play just with one single skip. So you want to throw flat and have things land flat as possible on both the drive and the approach. Yeah. You just don't want to try to. You just want to not try to bite off too much on the tee shot. That is the kicker here. There is some out of bounds short, but everyone doesn't really think about that here. It's pretty easy to get over that.
Just kind of taking the wind out of play on the sidearm. She does get caught up in that tree, but ends up in a fine spot. If you just throw flat and start to hyzer too early, the wind is going to carry you out of bounds. I kind of like it starting out on an anhyzer angle. Like Paige, yeah, see, Paige knows that she's headed towards out of bounds. Yep.
And there's just nothing you can do. That wind is going to take control if you don't have your disc flipped over.
That is a better angle. It's a
But
little
it's got-
high.
yeah, it's got too much height.
I think she's fine. Yep.
Oh, look at it. Hits the dirt clod.
I think as long as you start it out on an anhyzer angle, like you usually end up okay.
But she's like 10 feet from out of bounds. Oof.
She's fine.
She's fine. Everything's fine.
We're having fun. Cynthia's a little low here. She does clear the OB, but that was close.
Yeah.
She's got a wide open look, though, is a little too far to
The right.
birdie it, and I don't know. Maybe she'll do something cool.
No, she's got every bit of 320 feet here, and then it's low ceiling the entire way.
Yeah, that's the trouble. Like it's not necessarily the distance. There's a lot of fairway trees that make you shape something really low, and then again you have to land softly because the out of bounds is pretty close on that right side, left side. Sorry. Christine, with a better look at it, she can kind of just go hyzer here.
Yeah, I never got blessed with that look
Me
on my
neither.
second
Mine
shot.
were always like, okay, I'm gonna flex it around one tree and then 2 feet around the other tree. Whoa, look at this. Cynthia's going spike hyzer around the outside. That's crazy.
Puts a lot of air under the
And
disc.
it works so
Wow.
well.
So
She used to be
good.
the only one on the weekend to do that. Like, awesome. That was really cool.
I mean, is that the play?
That's very creative.
Jess
Her
looking
second
at
shot.
about 260 to the basket. Throwing a sidearm here. I love this play.
Great power. Too much power.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. She goes deep.
Yeah, pushes a little too straight. Gets an unfortunate little Annie straight skip on the side hill too.
She'll have a chance to save her par, though.
Paige at about 200 feet away.
Yeah,
That
this
needs
is
to
her
land soft.
third with the OB stroke, so she'll have a 40-ish footer for a par save. Christine's third.
Look at this. That's a no-nonsense par here. Love that.
Yeah, I hate nonsense.
Good bid from Paige. She'll have to settle for the bogue. Jess looking to save a par here from out of bounds, right around circle's edge.
Yeah.
Wow, into a headwind.
Yeah, little fist
Uphill.
bump. Yep, she earned that one. That was an excellent putt. The dull roar.
Cynthia for her par.
Yeah, she had that spit out earlier, so you can tell she's
Thinking about it.
Skeptical, but it stays put. Got 3 pars and Paige with the bogey.
13% of the field getting a birdie on this hole. That surprises me.
Wow.
There were 6 birdies today.
Good job, field.
Wow, you guys are rule.
Finishing a hole here, 701 foot par 4. You want to throw to the left. There's a drop zone sign here. You see the 2 flags. So you want to be left of that and as far as possible because the gap is very, very small to go across on your second. You're going over this out of bounds creek right here that the drone is flying through. If you're too far right off the tee, you have nothing and are forced to lay up. And now you're going back uphill to this is actually an elevated pin. It's like on a lighthouse in real life, not this drone footage.
It's on a hill and it's elevated and it is up there and it was windy.
It's a tough finishing hole for sure. If you don't land in a very small landing zone off the tee, it kind of forces you to lay up and then it's not an easy third shot to get your par.
And scrambling on your second shot here is a death notice. I mean, you can so easily find yourself into that creek and then dealing with that elevated basket while you're already scrambling for your bogey is not a place you want to find yourself.
Yeah. Jess is pretty far down there, but I think too far left. I'd be surprised if she goes for it on her second shot, but we will see.
This played as the 4th most difficult hole on the day, and that is likely because if you do end up having to lay up, like Christine will have to do, you're still left with about 270 feet to the green, and it's not a guarantee
No,
on that elevated basket to save your par.
Really want to get across on your second shot. But getting across in a birdie look is like a whole different ball game. It is a very tough hole. It's a solid shot from Cynthia. It's good distance. It is fading a little to the left. It does leave like a hyzer shot from over there, so perhaps Cynthia will go for it. We'll see.
There is an out of bounds line on the right hand side once you cross the creek, though that comes into play quickly if you're trying to throw that type of a hyzer line through the gap.
That's a huge shot.
Wow, that's so good.
Yeah.
She might be a little bit pinched right, but she's close enough that I don't think it will matter.
Yeah, that was a really excellent shot. Christine's way too far to the right over here. She's just forced to lay up. She can't even really see the gap.
That should work just fine.
Yeah, good trust. Good angle.
Again, she'll probably be just under 300 feet to the basket here.
This looks like a layup.
I'm kind of surprised there.
Yeah,
she is way back. But
she is. The thing is if you go into the woods, sometimes you can't even save your bogey.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't square the gap.
That's true. That's
so,
true. Man,
Cynthia looks like she's going for it.
Her layup really pushed it, though.
Ooh, yes, Cynthia. Wow.
Yeah.
She gets in a circle, too. I love that.
That's a great looking shot.
Yeah.
She'll
Cynthia
have a steep uphill putt for her birdie.
looks so confident.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
On the green and on the tee. Christine throwing her third shot, just a pretty routine hyzer, but you want to get close because this elevated basket was windy.
She actually goes deep. She'll have about 25 coming back at it.
Paige, whoa, way down there.
Super far down there, but pinched.
Oh,
and she gets
no.
kicked back out of bounds.
Did she cross on that side?
I think so. We'll see what the card decides.
So I'm gonna take it from here.
Yeah, she may not have. That. I think that tree, is inside the out of bounds.
Jess with a nice straight shot after a really good layup
Wow.
and a really solid par.
So good.
Yep. Very smart golf. Yeah, Paige still on this side. Straight 250 foot shot for birdie. Maybe a little under.
Kind of common problem today, just not quite getting over on it enough, coming out a little early. She'll be around circle's edge.
Cynthia just laying up for par here. Paige laying up. Were there any birdies on this one today?
There were two birdies. Only 3 people that found their way into Circle 1 in regulation, but Rebecca Cox and Kristen Tatar were the only people that converted
Very nice.
for the 3.
Christine, just a little low right.
I love that she just ran that.
Me too.
And look at the wind. I mean, it's unbelievable. Those flags are moving.
Yeah, that was pretty close to a straight headwind. Paige with kind of a rough double bogey finish. Everyone finding a little bit of trouble on this hole except for Jess. Well, actually, sorry. Half and half.
Yeah.
Cynthia and Jessica do get the par.
Yeah, some nice tap-in pars. That's what we like.
That's what you want. Yeah, that back 9 played a little tough. Jessica playing the cleanest on the back. Finishes.
Those final 3
2
holes, or those final 4 holes are just, what an insane way to finish a round.
Yeah. Let's recap the round here.
A little cleaner than the front, but still lots of colors.
Yep. Paige, yeah, making a comeback with that turkey and then finding a little trouble at the end. Jessica, I think, won over on the front and on the back with the best round of our card here. I think Jessica will stay on the, well, we'll see. She's tied for 4th.
Let's take a gander.
Let's see. Kristen Tatar, 6 down. So she's even because she shot 6 up the first day.
She beat her own score by 12 strokes and shot the course record.
Unbelievable. Jennifer Allen not too far behind. She's even par. Haley King even par.
Cat Merch rounding out the lead card for tomorrow. We hope you guys enjoyed our time at Jones Supreme. I know I didn't. I'm just kidding. We're going to move on to Country Club tomorrow. It is another wide open golf course style disc golf course here in Emporia, Kansas for round 3 of 4 at the Dynamic Disc Open. Thanks to the FPO VIP members. You guys are what keep us running smooth as a well-oiled machine here. Thank you so much. I hope you appreciate the coverage that we bring to you, and we know we appreciate GK Pro doing what they do for the FPO. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're your 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.